Meantime, the White House also downplaying concerns about the economy, describing a high-level meeting in the Oval Office yesterday with the country's top economic advisors as routine.
I would note that it is a routine meeting, and most presidents meet with their financial regulators. There is, of course, a couple of items on the proactive agenda, including the state of the country's financial institutions, work that they're all doing to promote financial stability, implementation updates around climate-related financial risk, agency actions on financial inclusion and access to credit.
And here to react now is Congressman Ron Estes of Kansas, also a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, good to see you, and good to see you here in person. There's a lot to talk about. That's what's happening here in Washington. Obviously, you heard the description there from the White House press secretary that this is somewhat routine. Can you weigh in on that? Is that somewhat routine for them?
I think it is good for the president to get updates and advice from the financial regulators and the leadership across there. The problem is we've got to worry about the Biden tax policies and economic crisis that he's creating. That's the issue I think that he's got to be more concerned about. Yes, the regulators kind of have the markets in a good place now, have the banking system stabilized. But when we look at adding trillions of dollars of new debt and new spending, that's gonna hurt. And I think that's going to show up as the next time they talk.
Well, let me ask you this, just from a layman's point of view. I mean, an everyday American right now is going to go to the gas station, and they're going to get gas, and they're going to fill up, and they're going to notice those prices are different. They're going to go to their local grocery, they're going to go to their restaurant and notice that the prices on meat are higher than they're typically paying. Should Americans be concerned than they already are? We are hearing there is concern with inflation and such. Is there a greater concern, and does that continue to grow?
It really is. When you look back 5 months ago, when gas prices were $1 less than they are now, and we had energy independence through that process, and now we're having shortages and having prices going up. April and May, 4.5% and 5%. Part of that's due to the economy reopening, but the overwhelming majority of it is just the amount of money that's being spent at the government level, and it's filtering down. And the average American is now just starting to see that impact, starting to see the pain that's caused by the higher gas prices when they go to the grocery store. And that's going to play out for the next several months, if not the next couple of years.
You know, it's interesting because over the weekend, I went to one of these little Mexican restaurants, and I was getting tacos. It's a true story, getting tacos, and you can choose chicken or steak, and they're both the same price on the menu. The waitress tells me, oh, if you choose steak, it's $3 more than the actual menu price. That just changed. But again, another identifier here that how this really is starting to impact, it is impacting everyday life here. But what can be done at the top about that to kind of pull that back? Because we got to keep in mind, the American people are just coming out of a pandemic, and this affected everyone, especially in their pocketbooks.
It really did. And one of the things, drives inflation is just the amount of money, and particularly the amount of government spending that impacts and flows into the economy, chases too few goods. And inflation's a terrible thing. I mean, the Biden inflation is going to be taxing on so many people, particularly low income folks, because they don't have as much opportunity to react to it, to change their income, to do something different. So inflation really hurts at that level, and it's an ongoing thing. It's a battle we need to be fighting, and our regulators need to make sure they keep an eye on that.
And there's money being funneled in different ways, as you know, with these new child tax credits that they're proposing as well, being able to roll those out. I believe it's starting next month. But aside from that, another big rollout, infrastructure, right? And there's a lot of talk on this, and there's a big divide between Republicans and Democrats. The Republicans, they say, oh, we'll go with $900 billion. It goes up to $6 trillion, depending on what side of the aisle. Where do we stand with that? What is needed?
Yeah, when you look at what President Biden proposed, whether it was $2 trillion or $4 trillion or $6 trillion, depending on which number they're talking about today, on any given day, less than 5% of the original proposal dealt with roads and bridges. I mean, that's what we as Americans think about as infrastructure. Instead of that, they're talking about everything from senior citizen housing and from union membership as being infrastructure in social programs. And we need to get back and focus. If we're going to do infrastructure, which we need to do as the country, we need to focus on roads and bridges and waterways and broadband. Those are the things that are important.
Before we go, real quick, do you have anything to say on what's happening in the Senate with the For the People Act and where this is really going?
Yeah, I think it's a good case of false marketing, false advertising. I mean, this For the People Act is really for the corrupt politicians. I mean, what it really does is takes taxpayer money, put in politicians' pocket when they run for office. I hope it goes down in the Senate. I think it really will in terms of a failure there. I mean, we want free and fair elections. We want to make sure that that happens across the country all the time.
Yeah. All right. Congressman Ron Estes of Kansas. Good to see you, Congressman. Thanks so much for stopping by the studios. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.